create the video file is on iMovie. I create a new movie, and then I'll go to the folder where I've downloaded the 3 videos for the worship file, the recordings from Zoom. I start with this one. I know is the speaker view file. You can see by looking at the strip here that it's always just one person. And then next I download or I pull in the gallery view, which is the GVO file, and I put that on top of the speaker view file. So I zoom in so that I can see what's what, and I just it starts recording as soon as we start the Zoom call, and so you can see we recorded for 2 hours and 29 minutes. So it's quite long, but I scroll through to find, I can see here that this is where we first started music playing, or it looks like we first started music playing. So I'm going to click on here and just be sure. Go back and see what the last thing they said was.
That clock's slow, isn't it? Just a little bit.
Oh yeah,
we're going to get started because the prelude's a little bit long this week.
Yep, that's me saying that we're going to start. So what I'm going to do here is just to mark my place, I'm going to split the 2 clips, split both of them in the same spot, and I'm going to just get rid of the gallery view. Now I'm not going to get rid of this file down here because when I import the shared screen video, I want to make sure that I know exactly where to split it from, where I'm going to start from. Okay, so I know that this is the music, this is the opening, or this is the prelude. So it's not going to matter whether we use the speaker view or the gallery view because eventually we'll delete it. So I'm going to watch until it looks like we get to the end of the song. Yeah, the audio track tells me that this is the end of the song, like I can hear the song or see that the song is finishing. And so what I'm going to do when the song is finished, before we start talking again, before Derek starts talking again, I'm just going to go ahead and split the clips again. And like I said, I just need one of the 2 clips here because eventually I'm going to overlay it with the shared file. All right, and then this is how I generally do it. So we're going to finish the prelude. When we finish the prelude, we want to go to a shot where we
Welcome
can
to
see
St. Paul United
everybody.
Methodist Church, a community where we can all belong.
So I usually let Derek say his opening stuff, and then what I'm going to do is split the clip here again. And so I want to be able to see everybody when we open. So I'm going to pull that down to the main line and then delete the speaker view. So I know that like at the end of the prelude from here, we're going to be seeing, we'll see shared screen, shared screen, shared screen. And then when we fade out from the shared
Welcome
screen,
to St. Paul United Methodist
we'll see
Church,
everybody.
A community where we can all belong.
And then I'm going to, what I'll do now is make it so that I flip to Derek for his announcements. Now it looks here like Sue then says something, so I'm just going to check the video out to see what's going on here.
I have a prayer request too.
Okay, so she's got a prayer request. We're going to leave that in, we'll go ahead and leave that in speaker view. Well, let me see what Derek says right before that.
Brother, but want to keep him in our prayers as well.
Oh, this is Steve talking.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that we're on gallery view so that people can see Steve talking. So I'm going to flip back and kind of look through to see
keep them in your prayers
when he starts.
Do we have any?
Oh, so Derek is asking for any other announcements. So at that point, I'm going to flip us back to gallery view. So I'll show you how I do that. I cut it here. I split the clip here. I can delete the gallery view because we want to see Derek. So again, just to review, we came in from the prelude. The first thing we saw after the prelude was everybody on the Zoom call, and then Derek started speaking, so we went ahead and did speaker view for Derek. Now I want to transition to gallery view so that we can see, because the issues with our camera right now is the way the sound and the cameras are hooked up. Even though Steve's talking, it doesn't put him in speaker view because the system doesn't recognize it. as him talking. It's kind of funny. Oh, I'll show you. It's because the AlterCam is hooked to the same computer as the no, I can't show you. The AlterCam is hooked to the same computer as the microphones, and so even though Steve is speaking and we see him here on the congregational camera, we don't see anything on the altar. But if we're in speaker view, this is the camera that it goes to. That'll be alleviated when we have two different cameras and we'll hook them to the same Zoom login, and we'll be able to switch back and forth. Or when we fix the sound. So that'll be down the road. For now, it works just fine. So what I'm going to do here is...
Do we have any other announcements or prayer concerns to lift up?
I have one.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split it here so that... Split the clip here, and I'm going to pull the gallery view down to the main line and get rid of the speaker view. So now we can see. Derek is asking.
And so just keep them in your prayers. Do we have any other announcements or
So
prayer
we can see
concerns
everybody.
to lift
I
up?
see Steve getting
I have
ready.
one.
Okay, so now Steve's talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen, or kind of look and listen for when Steve finishes.
I have a prayer request.
Okay, so we can see that we need to split it here because Steve is done talking and Sue starts. So I'm going to go ahead and split that clip and pull the gallery view down because we want to see everybody. So you can see here what I was saying, that this is actually Steve's talking in the congregation. We can see him on the congregational camera, but because the sound is hooked to the altar camera,
That Lloyd who
Zoom thinks that this is where the speaker is. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. And so now I'm going to do a little trick here to
I have one,
zoom in to be able to see
Joanne
Steve
just told me that-
fully. So I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to crop. I'm going to crop it to fill, and I'm just going to zoom in here on Steve. Get that as good as I can. Try not to be absolutely perfect because it'll be okay. Well, that is going to have to be okay. Okay, so we can zoom in on him. The picture quality isn't great here because obviously it pixelates because we zoomed in, but at least we can see him better than we could see him if he's in the gallery view. So now this is what it looks
There's
like.
a lot of broken bones. And so just keep them in your prayers. Do we have any other announcements or prayer concerns to lift up?
I have one.
So
Joanne
zoom
just
in
told me
so you
that
can see him
Lloyd, who
talking.
comes with us, that his brother passed.
Okay, so that's good. And then we know Sue is going to start talking here, and it looks like we're going to switch to Dan. So I'm just going to check that out and see where that transition happens, or see what Sue says at the very end.
Prayers, please.
And then there's a pause, and even before Derek says anything.
I have a prayer request.
So what I'm going to do, just to make this feel right, is when Sue finishes, so I'll split the clip here. I know we want to see Sue talking, even though here it looks like it's the altar cam, the computer just hasn't caught up with it yet. So we can see that it'll flip
Prayers as
from
well today.
Okay.
Steve.
I have a prayer request to
Yeah,
my
and then-
oldest
yeah.
granddaughter,
To Sue the way that it needs to. So just be here before Dan starts talking, or maybe even just a little bit into his talking. I'm going to split the clip, and because I want to pan back out to gallery view after Sue starts talking, because there's a little bit of a pause here. So I think it'll feel better if people who are watching the video can see everybody on the Zoom call.
so keep her in your prayers, please.
So when we flip back and can see everybody, and then we're going to hear Dan start talking.
I have a prayer request because I've seen.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and zoom into his to speaker view here. It looks like this is where he finishes talking, so we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, whoever painted the ramp out there, look.
Okay, and that's Daniel talking. So again, I'm gonna split here. Dan has finished talking. I'll split the clip here. Go ahead and delete the gallery view because we want to be able to see Dan talking. And then Daniel's going to say something about the ramp.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, whoever painted the ramp out there, it looks really nice, real nice. And I noticed the last.
So he says all of that. This must be him talking. And so I'll go ahead and split the clip That's probably a click of the mic. That spike right there at the end of his talking. So we'll split the clip here. And again, because he's speaking into the congregational camera, which means that we can't use speaker view on it because the mics are hooked up to the altar camera. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did when we zoomed in on Steve.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, whoever painted the ramp.
So I'm going to take this and zoom in again, fit to crop. Zoom in on Daniel speaking there in the congregational camera. And so we can see him again. It's blurry, but at least we can see who's talking. That makes it feel a little bit better.
Ramp out there, it looks really nice, real nice. And
yeah. Okay. So then from there, let's see who's talking here. So I'll flip back then.
That was really great because I'd not been by the church.
Okay, back to gallery view. Split clip. Regular gallery view because he stopped talking. We've got to get a bit of a pause. It'll feel better to just kind of look at everybody during that pause.
No, it was really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great because I'd not.
Okay, now Derek's responding. So what I'm going to do until Derek, we'll see what happens here. I think probably Derek leads us.
Any other announcements for the good of the church?
Okay, yeah. So we'll zoom in on Derek here because he's sharing a story or something. And then.
Any other announcements for the good?
As he's asking
of the church.
for any other announcements, I'll want to keep it in gallery view so we can see
I
everybody.
might add that there's going to be a Thanksgiving lunch on Thursday.
Dennis is talking and he doesn't have
At
his
the
video
normal
on, so
time.
we can't see him. So we'll just keep it the whole time in gallery view.
And this evening is our Thanksgiving worship service for Hispanic ministry. So
Okay, so it's because Sue's going to talk a little while. Well, I'll pick up kind of where she starts in talking, but we'll leave this whole thing in gallery view since we can't see Dennis anyway.
I'd add that
So Dennis
there's
is talking. We've got a little bit of a pause here.
and this
And
evening
then Sue
is
starts talking. It looks like she finishes talking about here. So we'll switch at this point. Well, yeah. Let me see. I'm going to split the clip. Split clip. Let her be in speaker view. Let the focus all be on her.
protect us from any spread of the disease. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And then we're going to flip to
Any other
gallery
announcements?
view. Again, any other announcements?
Do we have any birthdays this week?
Birthdays, we'll keep the pause. Looks like we're going to sing here. So,
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move into our gathering song, Open Hearts, Open Minds, and Open Doors.
all right. So we'll split the clip here. And we'll pull down the gallery view. And then here is the song. So I'm going to just look through to the end of the song, which we see is here.
Reverend Deborah, lead us in prayer.
Okay, so at the end of this song, actually, Derek comes in, it seems, at the very
Reverend
end.
Deborah, lead us in prayer.
So I'm going to go ahead and split it right after. I'll split it here. So we'll still hear Derek when I put the screen share in. We'll be able to hear Derek while the rest of the screen share is transitioning, which will be fine. And I can just delete the top because this is going to be overwritten by whatever we're seeing on the screen. All right, so then I almost never go directly to the speaker view from transitioning from watching something on the screen, because it automatically goes to the last person who is talking, the speaker view does. And so in this case, it might very well be Dennis or whoever has their camera turned off here. Actually, maybe it'll be Derek. But I prefer when we come out of seeing the screen for us to go into speaker view or gallery view so that we see everybody. So usually I just...
Let us be in an excuse me. Let us be in an attitude of prayer.
So there we go. She's asking us to be in an attitude of prayer when she finishes up, so we'll be able to see all of us. while she's asking that, pull it down onto the main line. And then from there, then we'll go to speaker view. Now it's really at the beginning that I'm doing a lot of this flipping back and forth.
Amen.
Amen. The hymn.
But as we get further through the video, especially like when we get to the sermon and whatnot, that stuff gets easy. So this is all speaker view because she's speaking, and then we move into, Derek says amen. We want to be able to see everybody there. And it looks like, oh, this is this, I think this is a song. Okay, so I'm going to split it up here so that we see gallery view. Yeah, and delete speaker view. So she finishes.
In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The hymn is number 694 in the red hymnal, United Methodist hymnal. Come, ye thankful people, come.
Okay, so now we're going to transition to the hymn. So I can just watch the audio file and see where we get to the end of the hymn. So this will be something I look at this and see this is something that in the final edit I'm going to have to take out because there's a lot of downtime here, and I'm going to figure out what this sound is.
St. Paul might unmute.
Oh, okay. So this is Steve was going to read. I guess it's a little easier for me because I was there, so I kind of know what happened. So anyway, I'm going to split the clip. I'm going to get rid of the gallery view, and knowing because this is a song, we're going to be able to see the screen instead of Nancy. And then eventually, after I put in the shared screen stuff, I'll get rid of this like downtime and whatnot. But for now, I'll leave it in just kind of as a placeholder.
I'm sorry, what?
Whoever the St. Paul computer is, the mic's on mute for St. Paul. So
we're getting it figured out here.
All right, here we go.
So I'm going to split us here, and then I will know that when I put the shared file in, that I'm going to need to delete this chunk. So we won't see any of this, but I need to keep it here as a placeholder. All right, so I think that gives you a pretty good overview of generally what I'm thinking about as I go through. So then when I finish this up, I'll switch and I'll show you a little bit of how I put the shared screen in. Now finished the whole merging together the gallery view and the speaker view. You can see that I just have a main timeline. I don't have anything above it. You can see that I flipped back and forth between gallery view and speaker view. So now I'm going to go from there. I'm going to show you first how I do this. I'm going to import, this is the shared screen video. I'm going to put this in here. And then as you can see, like this is what was on the screen the whole time. Okay, so like I said, I made my first split when the prelude started. So I'm going to go ahead and split here. Maybe if it'll let me split the clip. For some reason it's not letting me split the clip here. Let's see why. There we go, split clip. So I'm going to split the clip there, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of these because this is just the very beginning, and we don't need it. It's all the getting set up and whatnot, all the chatter before. Okay, so I can see here that at the end of the song, this is where we go back to the gallery view. So I'm going to split the clip here. Select this, split the clip here, pull down the screen, and get rid of the speaker view. Okay, so this is what the very beginning will look like. Oh, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this is how I get everything that's on screen into the video. Because we're using PowerPoint, I put this music into PowerPoint. That's why the video here is kind of choppy and kind of slow, simply because we're playing it in PowerPoint. I downloaded this video from online. I downloaded it from YouTube with YouTube Downloader, and then I inserted the video into a PowerPoint slide, which is from this worship file that we share. And so that being shared through Zoom and then Zoom recording it, that it causes it to slow way down. And I've just decided that we don't use videos all that often, and I've decided that because of the ease of use of PowerPoint, it makes it worth it. Like it's harder to do it a different way. And I guess I could go back and actually put in the actual video that I downloaded from YouTube. In the beginning, I was doing that, putting the real video in, but then it was just taking too long, so I stopped doing that. Okay, so now all I really have to do here is look through and see where we're singing, and wherever we're singing, I'm going to put the shared screen on, so I know that this is Prelude. I know that I don't know what that thing from Tony is. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we sing the Prelude, and then we do welcome and announcements. This is probably all announcements. It doesn't quite look like we're singing yet. This is definitely a song. Oh yeah, so this is Open Hearts, Open Minds. So I'm just going to split the clip here and go ahead and delete what's on the top because we need to see all the videos here. We're not doing anything with the shared screen until we sing Open Hearts. I'm going to go ahead and split the clip here and pull the screen shared on the main slide and delete this. Okay, so then generally what I do is I just check the transitions. After I pull something down, I check to make sure it's a smooth transition.
Open hearts, open minds, and open doors.
So here we are. We flip through. We can see it changing, and then we can hear the music. Okay, and then at the end, I check this transition too.
Reverend Deborah, lead us in prayer.
Let us be in an attitude.
Okay, so we're not going to need the screen again until we get to singing. So we know this is Debbie praying. This is Derek introducing the next song. So I've marked my spot here. I'm going to go ahead and split the clip here. Whoops. Sometimes it flips back like that. Here it is. Split the clip here. Get rid of the screen on the top. This is the song. Kanye, Thankful People. Okay, and then this is the place that I decided I needed to take this stuff out. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this clip, pull my screen share down, and get rid of the speaker view footage. So we go to the video. Sometimes I cut off these couple seconds, but it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so we hear Come Ye Thankful People. Then kind of switches them. Okay, so now what we need to do is I'm going to figure out where we go back to what we need. I looked through this. We had some technical difficulties here. The microphone in the microphone in the sanctuary got muted because there were some people on the call who hadn't muted themselves. So anyway, and then it took a minute for our tech people to figure out exactly how to do that. And then, yeah. And then Steve was kind of thrown off. So because microphones were unmuted. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete all of this. So now we're going to, I'm going to look through and Steve is reading. And then we're going to go, it looks like we're going to go to another song here. This is another song, Make a Joyful Noise. So I can split this here, split the clip here. And then again, we don't need anything on top because it's simply Steve reading. And we can look and see how this transition goes.
Here we go. All right. So
it's not super smooth. So sometimes when I see that it's not, what happened to I changed the way, there it is. Okay, well sometimes what I do when it's not super smooth is I'll add a transition in here. So I'll just put a 2-second cross blur. So that'll make it just feel a little bit better as people watch it. So we fade out there.
Here we go. All right. So in the reading this morning from Ezekiel, what we have is a.
Okay, and I'm happy with that, satisfied with the way that that looks. Okay, so now we're going into the next song. I've marked where the end of the song is. I go in and split the clip. Yeah, sometimes that playhead gets in the way. I don't click right. Okay, back to it. Okay, now this is where we should be done with the song. I'm going to split the clip there, pull it down to the main line, get rid of this. Okay, just going to kind of check this transition. We flip to this, and then we're going to see it fade into the music, so I'm comfortable with that. Let's see. Let's figure out where I can... Okay, this is Scripture from the Heart. We're going to sing one more time after that, so let's find the... So this for sure is the introduction to the song. So I'm going to split the clip here. We don't need any of the screen share stuff. So now I can go back, and I'm just going to check this transition. I can't check the transition until I delete what's on the top line here, or else it doesn't show me. I don't see the flipping of the views, because what's on the top line overwrites everything on the bottom line. That was a good
Scripture from the heart
transition.
will be from.
Okay, so reading, reading, reading. This is a song. We're going to split at the end of the song. Again, swap this out and delete that. Oh, it looks like, so I gave myself a mark here. I know that I'm going to delete this little piece. You see how there's silence here? That was waiting for Chuck to get his microphone ready to begin to speak. Okay, so when Chuck finishes, I go up and I begin to speak. We don't need the screen for any of this, but I did, I used the screen in the middle kind of my sermon. I showed some videos. So I'm just looking to find it, and I'm looking here on the top. Yeah, so this is where we started sharing the pictures. So what I'm going to, and I went ahead and made myself a note as I was listening. I kind of listened to the sermon and knew when I was going to direct the congregation to look at the screen. So I'm going to split the clip here, which means we don't need the screen until we get to that spot. So the screen is all deleted back here. And then I split the screen again when I knew I was done talking about it, or I split the clip again, so I've given myself like a mark here. Split the, whoops, edit, undo, split. I didn't move my playhead, but of course if you're using a different software, that you'll know how that works. So split clip, and I'm going to pull this down in here because I'd rather have them see the screen than me talking. Get rid of that. And then, so after I shared this, I flipped back to gallery view. You can see it down here, not up on the thing because I've got, it's showing this, but down here on the gallery view, I slipped it back to that just because, like I said, I like to go from the screen to the gallery view so people have a sense, when they watch the video, they have a sense that there are other people in the room. So let's see, so the sermon. I don't use the screen again. Okay, so here we go. This is the closing hymn. So I'm going to split the clip here and go ahead and get rid of all of this. Now I'm going to go back and check this transition. Yep, this. So I know that the video is playing.
No, because those sheep aren't cute, cuddly, clean. So this gives a whole different perspective.
Okay, so I'm gonna cross blur here, give just a little bit of a transition. Again, let's just make it 2 seconds and see what that feels like.
Sheep aren't cute, cuddly,
yeah,
clean.
You see we got choppiness in the video.
So this gives a whole different perspective about
Okay.
the shepherd.
And we'll flip back to
what the shepherd does. He goes after his...
Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. So I'm going to finish this last song. Here's the end of the song. Split the clip, pull the song down. I'm almost through, which is really great. Okay, this is the benediction, and I know that there's a closing hymn after the benediction. Here's the closing hymn. Give thanks. All right, so split this. Get rid of all this because all we need to see is gallery view and speaker view. The end of the song, and then this is the little like touch that I put on the end of it. I'll show you. Let me pull this down to the main line, get rid of that. Okay, so we transition into the postlude. Then I'm just gonna pull this bit down here because this is how I do my begin screen and my end screen. So I'm gonna pull this down here and I'll show you how I do that. So always after we finish the postlude, I like to transition back to us saying goodbye to one another
Thank you all. Have a great week.
and people waving.
Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Stay safe.
You know,
Thank
so
you.
we get the sense
Bye.
of saying goodbye.
Bye.
And then I split this to say, okay, this is enough goodbye, so I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'm going to use this share screen here. I'm going to detach the audio from it because I don't want any audio attached to it. And I'm going to use this as my begin screen and my end screen. So I'm just going to transition from here
Bye.
Bye.
to here, and I'll put a transition in there, a cross blur in there. Okay, and I'll split the clip. I don't know how many seconds that is. I didn't watch, but that's okay. So I'll split that clip. And even though it says give thanks, that's not what it really looks like. And then I'll go ahead and delete this. I'm going to put a cross blur in here, a 2-second blur. So you can see that we say goodbye to one another.
Bye.
Bye.
And then we blur into the end shot. Now this will also use this as the beginning shot, so I'm going to copy it, go all the way back to the beginning, very last thing, and I'm going to paste this so we get that beginning cap on here. Now sometimes in the prelude, sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't in the prelude. Oh yeah, we have plenty of it in the prelude. So now that I've double checked it, I'm just going to get rid of it. So now the video, I know the video will start out with this main screen and transition. There we go. So I'm very satisfied with all of that. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's what we can do. I don't think I need to. I'm just going to look one last time and see if I need a transition here. No, that's okay. There's a fade and then a flip. Okay. So that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and export this file. The estimated is 4.36 gig. It's never as big as it says. I've been putting it at 720 resolution simply because I told you I've got a really slow internet here and it takes me forever to upload it if it's 1080. And also it takes a really long time to export this whole thing, to put this movie together if the resolution is 1080 or if it's high quality. So that's just what I've been going with. I've noticed here I didn't name it. I'll name it St. Paul Worship November 22nd. So I went ahead and named it there. I'm just going to save it where I usually save it. And then, so now it's exporting. Let's see how long it thinks it's going to take. It'll take a minute. Yeah. So it thinks it's going to take about, yeah, you'll see this. Yeah, it's going down real quick. The more cross blurs we put in here, the longer it tends to take, is what I'm finding. And of course, the longer the video altogether, the longer it takes. So this will be probably about right. It'll probably take about a half an hour to export that. All right, and I will do the final clip of this tutorial. I don't know what it is. The final clip of this, just when I upload it to YouTube. That's a real simple to do, but it just takes a lot of time. Upload it to YouTube after the video finishes processing. So we have St. Paul UMC has a YouTube account. I'll click on it here. We have a YouTube account, and so I simply go into create, upload video, and it will see my internet is pretty slow. So I'll go ahead and select the file. Documents. I put it here. Let's see.
And it is St. Paul worship, November 22nd. Oh, I had to redo it because it failed. So this is the correct one because it was later, 20 minutes later, I had to redo it. So I'm going to choose that one. And I will upload it, leave this name. Click next. We need to put no, it's not made for kids so that people can comment on it. Then next, and then I just put it as public and publish. And then it'll upload it. Yeah, this one's saying it'll take an hour and 20 minutes. So it's pretty good for today. Yeah, so that's it. When it's uploaded, it'll show up here on our list of all the videos we have. All right, so I think that's it.